I'm going to show you my 10 ab exercises. I don't do anything else, I just do these 10 exercises and I incorporate them into my workout. So I don't go to the gym one day and do all 10 within my workout. I'll just pick a few here and a few there and sort of mix it out, mix it about each day. So you're going to see the best results if you incorporate these ab exercises within your already existing workout. That is how you're going to see the best results. I go to the gym and I see some people and you know, they do like a chest press exercise and then they wait for a minute and then they do it again. Like within that minute you should be on the floor doing abs. Use your time productively. So you know, use the exercises here in your already existing workout and that is how you're going to see the best results. If you don't have a gym, or you don't have access to a gym, or you just want to go to the gym and just solely do an ab workout, then I'm going to explain now how you should use these 10 exercises to get the best results. So you need to do a circuit. So you should do each exercise with a 15-second rest in between each one, and that's, once you've done all 10, that's one set completed. Have a 2-minute rest, then try it again. And if you get to the end after 2 sets and you could do it again, do it again. You've got to push yourself to the limits. That is how you're going to see the best results. You've really got to push yourself to the limits. So each exercise that you do with a 15-second rest in between, you should be doing until failure. You know, there's no limit. You shouldn't be doing, oh, I'll do 50 of these, 20 of that. You should be doing every single ab exercise until you possibly can't do any more. You can't possibly do any more, sorry. So just keep going for it and push yourself to the limits, and that's how you're going to see the best results. Concentrate on your lower abdominal muscles. People say all the time, oh God, you know, my fat's sitting on my belly, or the lower part of my belly, and they're right. It's the hardest place on your body to get looking good and in shape, because fat just sits on your lower abdominal muscles, or you know, within that area. And people make the mistake, you know, they go to the gym and they do hundreds and hundreds of crunches, and what they do is overdevelop their upper abdominal muscles, and they sort of leave the lower abdominals behind. You know, your lower abdominals can't really get a look in. But if you switch it the other way around and you just concentrate solely on your lower abdominal muscles, your upper abdominals will just come naturally anyway. It works them anyway. But the other way around, it doesn't quite work like that. So that's my #1 tip. Concentrate on your lower abdominals.
We have got the power.
It's a great exercise. It works your whole core. It's probably one of the only exercises that isn't completely concentrated on the lower abs. Yeah, it works your whole back, it works everything. So it's a really great exercise. I'm a big fan of the plank. Don't cheat. So a lot of people do plank like that, you know, with their arms like that. Have them parallel to each other, and you know, it's not supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be difficult. So you know, that's the position you should do for plank. So it's quite straightforward. You probably already know how to do the plank. But starting like that, get your arms in place and just shoot out your legs. And you know, you don't want to be doing that. You want a nice flat body. Get your head upright, not too far back, not right down, just parallel to the floor. There we go. That's the plank. So you know, hold each of these exercises until you can't possibly do any more. I can probably do about, you know, when it's involved and mixed in with my workout, I can probably do it for about 1.5 minutes. But you can always do more, never forget that. So yeah, that's the plank.
We have got the power.
Okay, it's really important that you position your legs correctly, because it will work your hip flexors if they're in the wrong position. So take your legs so they're parallel to the ceiling. I like to cross my legs, so I cross them like that. And what you need to do is just slowly take them forward, not up or down. Keep them parallel to the ceiling, but just slowly edge them forward. And what you do is pulse. So I can manage about 100. So you just pulse like that, and then halfway through, what I like to do, and sometimes your legs can start to drift back. So you know, be aware that you know, when you're pulsing, they're not drifting back. Keep them there and slowly pulse, and then change position with your hands. I like to do this. Again, it just gets me through the exercise. a very good lower ab exercise.
We have got the power.
This is a great exercise for what some people call the penis pointers. I really think it finishes off your abs, so it's really good to try and build these muscles up. So, side plank. Always start on your right side. Start on your left side if you want to, but I always start on my right side. Right arm out to the side in front of you for support, and your legs vertical, and just slowly lift up. And you don't want to be like that, you don't want to have an arch here, you need to sort of be flat. And I always have my arms straight out in front of me. And I hold that for about 20 seconds, and then I just start to dip. And that really works, it's really quite difficult. And I just do that until I literally can't do any more. Okay? So remember not to arch, keep it nice and flat like that. And this arm should be there for support. Okay, that's the side plank.
We have got the power.
I do this in the gym all the time, guaranteed every workout I'll use this one. I have a bad back from time to time, and if you've got a bad back, this is a great exercise. So, lie on your back and lift your legs to the ceiling. Not completely, you need to be careful because you shouldn't have them too close to you. Just slightly lean them away from you and make sure your legs are straight. You get better results if they're not bent like this. So straighten them. And all you're going to be doing is sort of pulsing again, like this. Try and keep everything tight and try and keep everything quite still. You could be all over the place like this. And you might feel a little bit silly doing this one, but who cares, it's a great exercise. So, just pulse. And again, I can manage about 100 of those. It's a really, really good exercise, especially if you've got a bad back. It's one of my favourites.
We have got the power.
Make a triangle with your hands, and your coccyx should fit in the middle of that when you're lying down. Again, a very difficult exercise that really concentrates on your lower abs. So, if you've got quite an arched back, like me, what you need to do, I think, is fit this around your coccyx. You can have your arms out to the side if you want to, but it depends what's comfortable for you. I think that hurts my coccyx if I do that, so I find that comfortable like that. And all you're going to do is bring your legs up, not too high, because that just allows your abdominals to relax. So you should keep it about here, and not go any further than that. Okay, just slowly lean down, don't touch the floor. Just slowly, about 6 inches off the floor, maybe lower. And just bringing them back. And if you've got a friend, he could push your legs to the side, like that. And you can hold his legs, which is great.
We have got the power.
Okay, this is a great exercise, but it's quite tricky because you need to have good balance as well. So this is the action that your body should be doing. It's fast on the way up and slow on the way down. So it's just fast on the way up, slow on the way down. And if you can only go there, that's fine. But just try and get as high up as you possibly can. You're still going to work your abdominals quite hard if you just, go in there. So V-sits. So legs completely straight, arms above your head. You're completely straight flat out, and you're going to quickly, don't arch your back, you don't arch your back too much, remember that. Okay, here we go. Look up to the ceiling, because that will give you better balance. So it's very important to look up to the ceiling. So just nice and controlled. That's a very difficult exercise. I can probably do when I'm doing it, incorporating it into my exercise workout. I could probably do about 20. So V6, very good.
We have got the power.
So again, quite similar to V-sits because you need good balance, but your legs are doing something a bit different. So your legs straight out in front of you, roll back, and you're just going to snap. It's like a snapping sort of movement. Your legs are just going to be brought up to your chest like that, and you're just completely balanced on your coccyx. And then out in front of you, up, out, up, out, out, up, up. It's quite hard to balance, but it's a really, really good exercise. Use it.
We have got the power.
What you need to get is anything. You get any household object, but you need it to be, slightly heavy. You can't really get a can of baked beans. The perfect thing would be a medicine ball, but you can do it with anything, like this camera bag. This is just one of our cameras, and it weighs about 4 kilograms when there's a camera inside. So I use this if I'm at home, or I don't have a medicine ball with me. So cross your legs, not like that. Just cross your ankles, and all you're going to do again is it's like imagine a piece of elastic, you're stretching it like that. That's how it sort of feels. But I call it the boat row because you're supposed to switch sides, and you just sort of in and out. And it's very difficult when you've got quite a lot of weight in your hand. Yeah, that's the boat row.
We have got the power.
This exercise needs to be done slowly. So, lie back with your knees bent and go up on your tiptoes, and don't have your legs too far out because you'll start to work your hip flexors, and don't have them too close to your bum as well. So just have them just so your tiptoes are just in the right position. Okay, what you're going to do with your hands either side of your legs for support, just slowly bring your knees to your chest, lifting your pelvis off the ground, and then you're just going to tap your tiptoes on the floor and repeat. And be careful that your pelvis isn't arched, because you won't be able to do the exercise otherwise. So push your pelvis forwards, and then slowly bring your knees to your chest, tapping your toes on the floor. And I'm telling you, after about 20 or 30 of these, you can definitely feel something. It's a very good exercise. The ab cradle.
We have got the power.
Probably the most difficult exercise that I do, I call it the crucifix because I change the position of my hands halfway through. You'll see when I demonstrate. I can't really hold this for longer than a minute at a time. I do find it very difficult to do. So let me show you anyway. Your legs are completely straight out in front of you. You can have your feet like this or like that. I sort of like to rotate my legs because I find it more comfortable for my coccyx. Okay, so lift your legs up. I like to have one hand on top of the other, and you just sort of try and get through it. And whenever I feel like, I just take it to the crucifix position, and it gives a completely different feel to the exercise. It's very difficult, so sorry if I'm not being able to talk very well. So try and do that until failure. But yeah, the crucifix, highly recommended lower ab exercise.
We have got the power.
So then 10 exercises, and that's it for the physical side. A great tip is to not go to bed on an empty stomach. I mean, I hear it all the time. People say, oh, don't eat after 7, or it's very bad for you to eat before you go to bed. And it depends what you eat. Obviously it's bad for you if you go to bed and you've just eaten a load of ice cream or some chocolate or fast food or whatever. Yeah, that's not good for you at all. But it is good for you. And what I do is I have my evening meal, which contains some form of protein. It is good for you to eat before you go to bed if you eat the right things. Your body at night works just as hard as it does during the day, so you have to fuel it. Your muscles are working, your muscles are trying to grow and repair, and if they've got nothing to work with, nothing's going to happen, and you're going to wake up feeling dehydrated and feeling quite groggy, which is what happens a lot of the time. So it's a very good thing to eat the right things before you go to bed. Don't go to bed on an empty stomach. You can have a little bit of chicken, a little bit of protein, or do what I do and have your main evening meal, if it's healthy, before you go to bed. It's a great tip. Okay, this really is what it all comes down to. And if you've already bought my diet plan, you can preach this loud and clear with me because you'll already know this. The most important thing you need to know when getting a six-pack is you have to reduce your belly fat. Every single person has a six-pack, but it's just hidden for most people under a layer of fat. You know, they go to the gym, they work really hard on their abs, and they're starting to develop quite nicely underneath, but they just can't be seen. So you need to reduce that belly fat. You know, I don't want anyone to be sitting at home with a big belly thinking that in a couple of weeks, doing this a few times here, a few times there, I don't want them to be thinking, oh, well, you know, in 2 weeks' time I'll have a six-pack. It doesn't quite work like that. And I'm not here to bullshit you. You know, I'm telling you the truth and everything that I know. There's so many people out there that will say, oh, you know, try my product or whatever. It'll get you a six-pack in whatever. And it's wrong. You know, you need to be told the absolute truth. And the truth and the bottom line is, you know, you have to get rid of that body fat. That is the number one rule. You can do as many crunches as you want. You can do 500, 600, 1,000 crunches a day. You won't get a six-pack because it's hidden under this layer of fat, and that is what you have to remove first. I genuinely care about each and every single person that purchases my gig. So, you know, I just want to tell you everything I know. You know, I want to tell you the truth. You have to reduce that body fat, and that's the bottom line. That is the most important thing you need to know, and you do that two ways. Okay, firstly, you need to get your heart rate going when you exercise. It's how you work out. It's how you do these exercises. You know, I don't go to the gym and do an exercise, like I said earlier, and just wait for a minute and then do it again. I'm on the floor. I'm always doing something. I'll go from one exercise to the other. It's called supersetting, and then I'll get on the floor and I'll do some abs. I'm always going, and I'm pushing until failure. I don't set an amount. I don't say, right, I'll do 50 of these. I do it until I can't possibly do any more, and that gets your heart rate going, and that's what you have to do. That's the first part. The second part is eating well. You have to have a good diet. There's a lot of people that already know how to eat well and already have a good diet, and I found that you know, I was always doing the exercise, but my diet wasn't very good a few years ago. But when I started changing my diet and tweaked my exercise and I put them together, that's really when a body starts to come together and starts to form. And the diet, it has to be low sugar. And it has to be something you can stick to. You know, anyone can get a good body in 6 weeks. You know, you can just cut out all the crap, but who can live like that? You know, we're human. We like all these nice things. We like all the chocolate. We like all that stuff. I know I certainly do anyway. My body only really has started to come together how I like it when I've sort of made it my lifestyle, and that's what you have to do. You have to make it your lifestyle. You know, unless you want just a quick fix body for a few weeks, you've got a wedding, you know, fine, go ahead, go and buy these 6-week plans where you have no carbs or whatever. But if you want a good body and you want to maintain it for the rest of your life, it has to become your lifestyle. So you have to reduce the belly fat, and you do that two ways. You need to get your heart rate going, and you need to have a good diet with low sugar, but you also need to be able to treat yourself, and so, you know, it keeps you motivated. So yeah, those are the two things, and that's the most important thing I could possibly tell you. You have to reduce your belly fat.